I don't know how to tell the story. Usually I just begin, it started when COVID hit, about March 2020. I worked frontline, had a couple months off, got paid unemployment from Massachusetts, from Charlie Baker and the feds, I guess. So that was good. I stayed home for 2 months, got paid, then went back to work in early May of 2020. My daughter was quite concerned. She even threw herself, at my feet. Dad, I don't want you to work. You're a guy. And I said, Katie, I'm not really in the morbidity class. I'm not worrying that much. Yeah, it was a good run. I got paid more money working from unemployment than I did, working. But so no, I went back to work and I wore the mask and, did that for another year and a half. But in between. So, but for me, the story begins again in, I would say March of 2021 when, yay, we've got the COVID flu shot for everybody to take that will, you won't spread it to anybody else and you won't get this derelict, this awful flu that has come from a bat or from the wet markets or genetically modified by a lab assistant in a lab somewhere in the world. Who knows? But here it is. But the for me, the Americans' way of dealing with it almost shows their partial guilt, because the overreaction is what they want to be able to say. Well, at least we overreacted. It's like, no, you can't react like that, and you can't. And now you're implementing this on our kids, who are, just being emancipated at age 18. You're making a requirement for college or employment or to be a trucker. That is a sea change, and people under 35 should not get used to this as if it's normal. It's not. And that's the thing that's going on here, is the Great Reset, or I haven't even read the book, but my concern is that they're getting people used to these things, which is bogus. We even have Tony Blair, we're fighting, for the free world, all these last 20 years, and now he comes out and says this, well, it's just going to be a part of life. You're just going to have to get used to it. These are the people who stand up for our civil liberties. Give me a break. And, you throw in Macron, Trudeau, Biden, Jacinda, Morrison, I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it. It was awful. It was bogus too. And then after getting everybody who was in some type of threat, we're worried about the old people. Well, so they got this COVID vaccination, which wasn't a vaccination, it was a flu shot. If it was a vaccination, the older people, once they took it, wouldn't get it. They wouldn't care if I took it or not. That whole selling of the COVID shot was a total canard. That's what we said all along. And that's why people, when first started getting shots in March of 2021, well, I'm doing it so I don't have to wear a mask either. People were dancing around for 2 months, 1 year in, saying, oh great, I don't have to wear a mask anymore. And then they were told, well, these are just breakthrough cases. We want everybody to mask again. And they complied. That's the thing. And people continued to get the shots even after that, not knowing that the normal understanding of vaccination means you won't get it ever. That's what it means. And to message that to the American people meant that we understood we would be safe from getting it. From that definition, but they knew it didn't have that ability, this COVID shot. It was at best a flu shot, but they branded it as a vaccine, and they lowered the threshold for what a vaccine is as far as efficacy goes. For what purpose? I mean, let's don't even get going on ivermectin. But the point being is that if you're not in the morbidity class, and also mainly the age group, you're gonna be, if you're under 35 or 40, you're gonna probably be okay. Now, and if you want to get the shot, fine. But what we're talking about here, partly my hyped upness, is that these people who I've just mentioned all mandated these vaccinations that have no proven efficacy. And not just that. It wasn't even an honest debate. They called people who questioned or refused for themselves, while still suggesting other people, should take it if they want. They called people, they used the words that came from the presidents and prime ministers of all these English-speaking countries, and it was kind of bogus. How do you stop debate? Well, tell everybody you're arguing with a misogynist, a racist. We're talking about COVID. We're talking about this emergency vaccine. We're talking about people's danger. But the final point again, quick, is everybody under 35, they scared everybody. And then the pharmaceutical grab went for all those people to get vaccinated. So just a quick point, 860 children, 0 to 17, died during the first 18 months of the pandemic. 860. Out of a population of 73 million children, 0 to 17. 860 people died in 18 months, not a year. So that's about 580 a year, whatever it is. But because of that, they want to force COVID shot 73 million children in that age group with a COVID shot that does not prevent the spread or protect their grandmother or protect their teachers. So again, back to basics. If the vaccination had worked, we could have trusted the science, but it was never a vaccination, and they knew it. That's the big lie that I think, I don't know how it could have, everybody was told, oh, we had great trials, 95% effectiveness. And then game on. But the fact that, they don't give us the right to informed consent and the right to refusal, everybody over 18 should have that as a basic right of their citizenship in the United States. If other countries don't want to go by it, fine. First, Fourth, Ninth Amendment. It's not that hard.